welcome back to Miller's in Motion. In December of 2019, we stood right here and welcomed you guys into our home and into our lives as we began this journey. A lot has changed in that time frame, but it all started right here, and this is kind of where we like to update you guys on big changes headed your way.
Fast forward, we obviously after the pandemic kind of shut down the travel side. We really didn't do anything with the channel for almost 2 years. And then we stood right here and said, you know, we really want to relaunch, ironically about the same time as we first started it, and said we have this idea of getting an RV and traveling and doing that. And so we didn't know exactly what that would turn into. Right,
at that time it wasn't a full-time notion.
No, it wasn't. And it kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. And ironically now, as you can tell by the echo, this is the last time we'll be standing in this spot. I said early on I didn't want to hide the emotion of everything. And I'm very emotional as a whole. So this is obviously our saying goodbye to our house. We've lived here for
9 years.
Yeah, just over 9 years. It's funny, everything in this house seems to happen around the same date every year. We closed in March of, when we bought it.
Yeah, March of 13.
March of 2013. Every big milestone seems to be around that spot. And we're closing, selling. So we're standing in this spot that seems to have been the jumping off point for everything in this channel, making our last video inside of our house.
Yes, as things grew and developed, we leaned more into the RV lifestyle, and eventually we decided that the best way to accomplish the goals that we told you about, you know, seeing more things, doing more things, having more experiences, was ultimately to live in the RV full time so that we could kind of spoke out from that. We'll still have our home base and our jobs, but the RV will be our home, and the dogs included. They're going on all the adventures with us. So this is the last time we will greet you guys from this spot in our very first home.
So this house has obviously meant a lot to us. It was our first home we purchased. Prior to living here, we had moved how many times in how many months or years?
9 times in 8 years. It was a series of very small apartments in very big cities, urban areas mostly.
Right. For Lauren's school, you know, we just moved around a lot. We've lived pretty much all over the state of Texas except Panhandle.
That's right.
And I wouldn't trade any of it for the world, but
No.
when we were done with that, we really wanted to not move for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of slow down, put down some roots.
And honestly, fresh out of college, you know, not a whole lot of money, not a whole lot of anything except a whole lot of debt. You know, we didn't even think we'd be able to buy a house.
Right.
And we did a pre-approval process and we found this place, and ironically, I didn't like it the first time we looked at it.
Yeah.
But then we came back around on it and realized that we're being too picky, kind of like buying an RV. Have a few big things and then some small things and some other stuff, and get as many of them as you can, but understand you're not going to get them all. And that's kind of what I got in this house. And you know, it was perfect for the dogs we had at the time. It was perfect for the dogs we have now, Klondike, Mishka, Bailey.
Perfect because I wanted a pony.
Yeah. We were able to build a barn on this property.
Yeah.
Lauren was able to keep her horses on this property. Klondike's licking the trash. And so it checked every box for us for a very long time.
It definitely allowed us to meet our goals we had at that time.
Right.
But as things grow and change, your goals change too.
So we're gonna just kind of show you around the empty version of the house. You've seen it's filled with stuff, and by the way, a lot of stuff we had to move. You don't realize, you think you declutter, and you don't really actually declutter. You just shift it around somehow.
I mean, it's only the 2 of us in a pretty small house. We were pretty impressed.
It was a little more of an undertaking getting everything out than we thought it would be. So we're gonna show you around. One thing I will tell you though is we said from the beginning, we're not gonna hide the rawness and the emotion of getting rid of something that is very close to us.
Making a big, big life change.
And one thing I will tell you is that even though we're sad today, we're also still very, very excited. All those emotions we talked about at the very beginning of the video, those still exist. They didn't go away. But when we talk about the RV, there's a lot of excitement and possibility and new beginnings and all of those things. Lauren likes to call it a season of life.
Right.
This just happens to be a sunset and the sun rising all in the same day, which just is a lot of emotion. So,
and I think there's a saying that says courage isn't necessarily doing something scary. Courage is doing something even though you're scared.
Right.
And so that's
That's a great quote.
Kind of where we are.
All right, so I guess then what's on tap for the rest of today, Lauren?
Pull in the slides to our new home and hit the road.
Yep. So the rig is still sitting behind you guys where it has sat for most of it, minus our little Gulfport trip.
Yep.
And a few shakedown trips. So essentially the breakdown of what's gonna happen today is we are going to move to its new, I'm gonna call it semi-permanent home.
Yes, yeah.
We're gonna do a monthly thing there. And the idea is that we'll take long weekend trips and then obviously Lauren's horse trips and that kind of stuff away from there.
But we're excited to show you guys this place because I think it's a good fit for us and our needs right now.
Yep. And then we have to button up, get the rig situated and then kind of get it rebuttoned back up, get the dog situated so Bailey doesn't bark her head off at everything.
Yeah.
And then we have to go actually sign the paperwork on this house. So.
Yep, and final piece of the puzzle is signing it off to the new owners. And can I just say, like, the house was special to us, but it'll be special to them too.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and button up the rig. We still have some work to do here, so it's not like we just can get in the car and drive away. We still gotta hook everything up. So we're gonna kind of get a move on and unfortunately say our goodbyes to this house off camera. All right, well, that was a very emotional goodbye to the house. So we've officially left the house. We've made the trip here to its semi-permanent hub home thing. So this is going to be predominantly where the rig is when we're in the Metroplex. And trips after trips after trips.
And I have to say today went really smoothly so far, you know, getting out of the house, getting the rig set up, getting into the spot and everything, so.
A few tears, some sad, shared some memories, but.
A few tears.
It only took us an hour and a half to record the 2-minute intro. But the rig's here.
Yeah.
And it's essentially day one, but we got one little piece of stuff.
Major.
Yeah. We got to get paid for our house.
Yeah, we do. We're out of it. The hard work's done. Now we got to go sign it off to somebody else.
Yep. So we are going to head out, go to the closing, show what we can, which is not going to be probably very much because it's illegal proceedings essentially. And we'll come back, cook some dinner, and go to sleep because we're emotionally and physically very tired.
Exhausted.
That's the one thing nobody tells you is how exhausted you're going to be by the time you try to sell all your stuff and you move into one of these things. So it's going to take us a week just to recoup our energy from this little adventure. So let's go get the closing done.
That's good. Well, I guess that's it. We're no longer longer homeowners. We just signed the house over to the buyers, and we're gonna go home, maybe toast a little champagne that process is wrapped up smoothly, and we're gonna take a nap.
All right. Well, in celebration of closing on the house and officially starting this full-time journey, we have a fairly special bottle of champagne. As you can tell, it's made by no one. So this is actually from our wedding. That's why it's discolored. Also, we wonder if champagne goes bad or not.
We're about to be able to tell you.
So, but we're going to open this. But it is, it's very, how do you even open this? This has been a day full of a lot of emotion. This is just deteriorating, by the way. But getting the house signed,
Bailey's tired.
Explaining her emotions.
Yes.
But getting the house closed and done, give him my money.
And can I say, like, this all came to fruition in the span of 2 months. So from the time that we actually agreed to purchase an RV was in January, and to today is barely over 2 months. So how people go through this for months on end, I can't fathom that.
So in the very first RV video we made, or the relaunch, we talked about should we sell the house, and we referenced the video back at the house. And I said all those emotions at the very beginning. I'm terrified, I'm scared, I'm excited. And that's, again, all those things come bubbling back up because now that we're here and that's done, and legally it's done, and physically it's done, you think about all the emotions. And a buddy of mine, we were talking about this in the truck on the way to the closing, but a buddy of mine has a tendency to sell his house a little faster than most people do. And he said, I can sell it easily because the memories are what the people make the memories of. The house is just the vessel. And it's just the place it's happening. And so those memories aren't gone. I think that's the one thing that we're kind of clinging on to at the moment, is that's where we, our first dogs, Maverick and Goose, that you guys never saw, they lived in a lot of apartments with us, and we took them on walks and did stuff with them, but they never got a backyard. They got a backyard the latter half of their life. Now, Klondike, for the most part, that's all he's known. He's had a little bit of apartment living early on. Mishka had a really bad upbringing, and we could give her that kind of sanctuary and train her and work with her a little bit. And now she's capable of being on the road. And Bailey's Bailey. I don't know what to tell you about Bailey.
Bailey at the jackpot. So.
Yeah, so.
Well, and the other thing was that your friend said that the money he would make by selling his house at the right time, investing in the real estate in that way, the money he made allowed his family to have certain, advantages. And that's kind of what this has done for us, too.
Yeah. In addition to all those emotions and that stuff, we really, when we started this journey out, said, we're going to go down this road, and if doors close, we're going to back up and reassess. From going to Tampa to look at the rig and sitting on a curb and thinking that door is closed, to picking up the phone, to closing on it, going from door closed to buying a rig within about 15 minutes. All of those things, every door that we came up to, not only did we feel like, well, it wasn't closed, it was actually wide open and someone was kicking us through it.
Right. There were a lot of things that really had to fall into place in order to make this happen. And things that at the very beginning, we really were skeptical that they could fall into place. We joked, we said, we've given this a million reasons to fail. And throughout the way, each one completely fell into place. So as we told ourselves from the beginning, as long as he keeps opening doors, we'll keep stepping through.
Yep. So this champagne's a little bit kind of a celebration of the house and everything in that season, as you called it, of our life, and what's coming in the future. And
that's right.
I'm very excited and happy that we're actually documenting this. I know this is probably going to be a shorter video for us, but I wanted to make sure we shot, and this had its own video so we could do it. I'm also going to try not to hit one of the dogs.
Or the ceiling.
You're on recovery mode. It's going to hit the ceiling.
Don't put a hole through the ceiling, please. This is our home, remember that. It's going to rain tomorrow.
See if I can get to the vent.
Don't break the AC, summer's coming.
Apparently champagne goes bad.
Recovered.
That was very anticlimactic.
There are no bubbles. None.
Let's celebrate. Ooh, look, bubbles.
Hey, we We finally got some bubbles. Oh. So while he's pouring this, you know how when you get married, it's a tradition to save that top tier of your wedding cake and keep it in the freezer, and on your 1 year anniversary, oh, you spilled, you dribbled. You take the tier out and you have that as kind of your celebration. Nobody tells you that that's terrible. It's basically pure sugar.
Sugar block. That's what it looked and tasted like. The frosting flaked it away from what was left of the flour. Not cake, it was flour at that point.
I get the feeling that this is kind of a similar situation where we really had the best of intentions, but...
If you would like to taste crappy champagne, come find us on the road.
We also don't usually drink, so this is unusual.
Yeah, we don't drink a lot. And when we do, we have a tendency to drink very mixed drinks or beer, not this. So.
Not champagne, but...
No. Cheers.
Anyways, trying new things.
You want
Cheers.
to slam, salud. It's got a tang to it.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be by the lack of bubbles.
It's not good either, though.
But we don't really like champagne to begin with. This
I
was
like
more
good
celebratory.
champagne.
You want some orange juice?
No. Got a beer? Anyway, so thank you for following along so far. This is obviously just the beginning.
Yeah.
We're not really sure. We want this channel to be more about the adventures and getting out there and doing it. Very much so understanding that the first 3 months of videos, essentially, were all about taking the plunge.
That's right.
And actually getting up the nerve to do it. So if you have questions about it, please ask them. People have already asked us a bunch of questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer them honestly and truthfully to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, to what's next. And we're not even 100% sure what's next, except for see what shook on the way here and fix it.
And you leave next week for the Masters.
Yeah, so if you're not a golf fan or you play golf, there's a tournament called the Masters. I go every year with my dad, one of the perks of being a golf professional. So I leave for the Masters. If you don't follow us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. I'm not going to shoot a video on it. I can't take a camera or my phone into the Masters. But I'll throw some Instagram stories together and do a little bit of Instagram as we go along. So join us for that. Lauren gets to solo in the rig for the first time.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that's about it. If you wouldn't do us a big favor and subscribe to the channel and follow along with us.
Let us know you're still interested.
and well, not only that, but join in. We want this to be, a two-way street, if you may. Just because we're the ones with the camera talking to, it doesn't mean we don't want to meet you, don't want to see you, don't want to maybe have a drink outside a fire pit at a campground with you. So, So as we like to say now, join us next Sunday at 5 for a video about something. I have no idea what, because we finally sold the house. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye, Mom.
Cheers. Oh, wow. That's so bad.
All right. Down the sink it goes.
Yeah, thank you.
Now my wheels in motion and my